Have you ever walked into a garden center, looked at the price of organic spring fertilizer, and felt like you were being completely scammed? Well, what if I told you that you could make an entire barrel of the absolute best plant food in the world for $0 in just 5 minutes of active work? Today we are going to unlock a massive gardening secret that chemical companies desperately hope you never figure out. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to pull a limitless supply of premium fertilizer right out of thin air, using things you currently throw in the trash. It sounds impossible, but I guarantee it works. So, let me ask you right now before we begin. Are you still spending your hard-earned cash on plastic jugs of plant food, or have you already discovered the power of making your own? Drop your answer in the comments. Before we dive into the exact 5-minute recipe, we need to understand a quick piece of farming history. Long before giant chemical companies started selling bright blue powders in plastic tubs, our ancestors grew massive, healthy crops. How did they do it? They used the closed-loop system of Mother Nature. They understood that plants take nutrients from the soil, and when those plants die and decompose, they return those exact same nutrients back to the earth. In the modern era, we have been tricked into breaking this cycle. We rake up our leaves, bag up our grass clippings, and throw away our weeds, sending all that natural wealth to the landfill. Then we drive to the store and spend our money to buy those exact same missing elements back in a synthetic form. Today, we are stepping back into history. We are reclaiming the ancient, foolproof method of liquid green manure. We are going to stop fighting nature and start using her oldest trick to supercharge our modern spring gardens. Have you ever looked at a patch of weeds and felt completely defeated? Well, it is time to change that mindset right now. The magic ingredient for our 5-minute spring fertilizer is actually the very thing you have been trying to destroy. We are talking about common yard weeds. Dandelions, stinging nettles, and even plain old grass clippings are absolute gold mines of nutrition. Think about it for a second. Weeds are survivors. They pull massive amounts of nitrogen, potassium, and trace minerals deep from the soil up into their leaves. Most people believe the myth that weeds only steal nutrients from your garden. But the truth is, they act as tiny, powerful nutrient pumps. For our vivid example, imagine a deep-rooted dandelion. It reaches down where your delicate vegetable roots cannot go, pulling up calcium and iron. When you pull that weed and throw it in the trash, you are literally throwing away free plant food. Instead, we are going to harness all that stored energy. By gathering these vibrant green survivors, you are taking the first step to creating a liquid gold that will make your cultivated plants explode with green growth. You are turning your worst garden enemy into your absolute best friend, and doing it without spending a single dime. Now let us look at the simple equipment you need to make this happen. You do not need a fancy laboratory or expensive gardening gadgets. To create a massive supply of liquid fertilizer, all you need is a large container. A standard 50-gallon plastic barrel is perfect, but a 5-gallon bucket works great too if you have a smaller space. The bigger the container, the more free fertilizer you get. There is a common myth that you need to buy expensive, aerated compost tea brewers from specialty catalogs to get good results. That is simply not true. Nature has been breaking down organic matter in stagnant water for millions of years. For our setup, imagine an old rainwater barrel sitting at the corner of your house. Just make sure it has a lid, or at least a piece of scrap wood to cover the top. You will also need water, and here is a pro tip. Try to use rainwater or well water if you can. If you only have city tap water, fill your barrel and let it sit in the sun for 24 hours before adding your greens. This allows the chlorine to evaporate, ensuring you do not kill off the beneficial bacteria that will do all the heavy lifting in our fertilizer recipe. So how do we actually put this together in under 5 minutes? The active working time is incredibly short once you know the secret. Step 1 is the harvest. Take a bucket and spend just 3 minutes walking around your yard, pulling up the biggest, greenest weeds you can find. Once you have a good pile, you need to break them down. This brings us to a crucial technique. Do not just throw whole plants into the barrel. You want to roughly chop them up. You can use garden shears, a machete, or even just rip them apart with your gloved hands. Why does this matter? It is all about surface area. By breaking the plant cell walls, you allow the water and bacteria to immediately access the trapped nutrients. As a great illustration, think about making a cup of tea. A whole, uncrushed tea leaf takes forever to steep, but finely crushed tea leaves release their color and flavor almost instantly. If you want to be really fast and lazy, just run your lawnmower over a patch of weeds and scoop up the clippings. Dump all of this chopped green material into your barrel until it is about half full. This physical breakdown is the absolute key to extracting maximum nutrition in the shortest amount of time possible. With your barrel half full of chopped green goodness, it is time for the final active step. This is where the magic really begins. Simply take your hose or your collected rainwater and fill the barrel the rest of the way up. You want to make sure all the plant material is completely submerged. Push the greens down with a long stick to get all the trapped air bubbles out. Now, let us address a very persistent gardening myth. Many people think you have to stir this mixture constantly, every single day, to make it work. While stirring does introduce oxygen, our simple weed tea method relies on anaerobic fermentation. You just push it down, put the lid on, and walk away. That is it. Your 5 minutes of hard labor are officially over. Think of it like putting ingredients into a slow cooker before you leave for work. You do a few minutes of prep, and time takes care of the rest. The water will begin to act as a solvent, pulling out the nitrogen, the chlorophyll, and the trace elements. Inside that dark barrel, billions of microscopic workers are waking up. They are about to transform your annoying yard waste into a potent, bioavailable liquid that your garden vegetables will absolutely love. Even though our 5 minutes of work are done, I want to share an amazing secret catalyst that will supercharge your barrel of fertilizer. If you want to accelerate the breakdown process and breed an army of beneficial microbes, you need to feed them. The water and weeds are great, but bacteria love sugar. Take just 1 tablespoon of unsulfured molasses or even a handful of brown sugar and dissolve it into a cup of warm water. Pour this sweet mixture directly into your barrel. If you do not have molasses, a single shovelful of rich, dark compost or ordinary forest dirt will do the exact same trick. This introduces a massive dose of active soil biology right into the water. Here is a perfect way to visualize it. Imagine you are starting a campfire. The weeds are the heavy logs, but the molasses and the handful of dirt act like lighter fluid and a match. It causes a biological explosion. People often mistakenly believe that dead plant matter rots all on its own in sterile water. It actually needs these microbes to digest the material. By adding this tiny microbial booster, you cut your waiting time in half and dramatically increase the final nutritional value of your green liquid gold. Now we have to talk about the waiting game, and more importantly, the smell. You need to let this barrel sit in a warm spot for about 2 to 3 weeks. During this time, the water will turn a dark, murky green, and bubbles will start to form on the surface. But here is the most important warning I can give you. When you open that lid, it is going to smell terrible. It will smell like a barnyard mixed with swamp water. Do not panic. A lot of beginner gardeners smell this and immediately think they did something wrong, or that the batch has gone bad. That is a total myth. The foul odor is actually the absolute best sign of success. It means the anaerobic bacteria have successfully broken down the proteins and released the raw nitrogen. To give you a clear picture, it is exactly the same process that happens in a cow's stomach to produce manure. You are basically brewing liquid manure without needing the cow. If the smell is too much for your neighbors, you can toss in a handful of crushed charcoal or a few drops of natural dish soap to help trap the odor. But honestly, that rich, terrible smell is the exact scent of the ultimate spring plant food. Fast forward 3 weeks. Your barrel is fully brewed, dark, and pungent. But wait! Do not pour it directly onto your plants yet. This is where most people make a critical mistake that ruins their spring garden. The liquid in that barrel is essentially a fertilizer concentrate. It is incredibly strong, packed with raw nitrogen and salts. If you pour it straight onto tender spring seedlings, you will experience fertilizer burn. The leaves will turn yellow, curl up, and the plant might even die. You must dilute it. The general rule of thumb is 1 part weed tea to 10 parts fresh water. A great visual guide is to look at the color. When you mix it in your watering can, the final liquid should look like a cup of weak, pale tea. Never let it look like dark coffee. By diluting it, you ensure the nutrients are in a gentle, easily absorbable state. It is like giving a thirsty athlete a sports drink instead of pure, thick syrup. This huge dilution ratio is exactly why a single 50-gallon barrel of concentrate will actually produce 500 gallons of usable fertilizer. That is more than enough to feed an entire backyard garden for the entire growing season. Finally, let us talk about the best way to apply your newly made spring fertilizer. Spring is the time of rapid vegetative growth. Your plants are trying to build strong stems and lots of green leaves before the summer heat arrives. Nitrogen is the exact building block they need for this, and your weed tea is swimming in it. The best method is to use it as a soil drench. Take your watering can with the diluted tea and pour it directly around the base of the plants, right over the root zone. Try to do this early in the morning or late in the evening when the sun is not too harsh. For a vivid example, watch your young tomato or cucumber plants. If you feed them with this mixture once every 2 weeks, you will see a visible, explosive difference in just a few days. The leaves will turn a deep, vibrant green, and the stems will thicken up noticeably. You can also strain the liquid through an old shirt and spray it directly onto the leaves as a foliar feed. It acts instantly. You have successfully taken total waste, spent 5 minutes of actual effort, and created a premium organic growth serum that rivals anything you could ever buy in a shiny plastic bottle. So, here is the ultimate plot twist of our gardening story. Those stubborn, annoying weeds that have been driving you crazy are actually a free gift from nature. By spending just 5 minutes gathering them, chopping them up, and drowning them in water, you unlock an endless supply of premium organic nutrition. You save money, you clean up your yard, and you feed your soil biology all at the same time. We have transformed a garden chore into a massive harvest advantage. If you are ready to stop wasting money and start growing the best garden of your life, hit that subscribe button right now. Give this video a big thumbs up so we know you want more organic hacks, and share it with a friend who still buys chemical fertilizers. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments below. What is the most annoying weed in your yard right now? And are you brave enough to turn it into liquid gold this weekend? Let us start a conversation down below. Thank you so much for watching, and happy growing!